the shape, ready to roll?
Yep.
Recapping Illinois real quick. Of course, it was nice that we got a win, but a lot of things we need to clean up on. Had some good performances, but some things that we need to continue to polish if we're going to have a chance this week down the stretch with these remaining 4 games in the league. Special teams, it was, got the big turnover, which was huge. Got points off of that. It was a good play by a good punt. Like Eric's done a good job filling in for Mitchell Voss. He's been steady for us and did a nice job there. Ewald's done really well on replacements or kicks. We did have the 1 kick out of bounds. I think a big play we talked about. We decided at halftime, it wasn't a huge win, but it was a difference between kicking it out of the end zone or a short kick, being a little bit more aggressive with deep throws, maybe worry about the ball hanging up. So it was kind of it wasn't worth maybe a possession, but it was worth thinking about what to do. And we decided second half to kick off into the win because we wanted it for the fourth quarter. We had a really nice high kick, had great coverage, defense got a stop. Later we created a turnover, got some points. So I think, we thought that was the best way to play it, but you got to execute. And I think the kids, did a great job. It started with Mitch's kick and the kick cover deal. So kicking game was solid. Defensively, we made some strides. We did have 14 missed tackles. We got to play a little bit harder. We had a few guys not playing quite at the energy of the previous few weeks. Didn't get off blocks, weren't as physical as we needed to be, even though we made some sacks and had some stops. And still, we got to keep pushing positives. We held them 17 points. We did get the sacks, and we created a turnover on defense, one on special teams. They had the ball twice inside the 5-yard line. We hold them 3 points, and in the game they don't score, so a couple of red zone scores, stops were good. Offensively, one of our worst performances. I do think Illinois' defense going into it, I think they're a little bit more skilled and proficient than I think people give them credit for. Their front 7 particularly is very good. Only 1 of 13 on third downs was disappointing. We only had 7 big plays. I didn't think we were very physical. We did have 1 good drive at the end of the fourth quarter, but the offense was pretty anemic all day. We didn't turn the ball over. We did score when we crossed the midfield. The fourth quarter drive was nice, but we got to be a lot cleaner. It was nice to see a struggle in the defense come through, kind of picking it up, but again, we still haven't played a complete game. It was good to get a win. Performances, Greg Eben, our special team player of the game. I think I looked today, and then Adam McClough, our defensive player of the game. Adam and Greg have been, I think, the players of the game defensively every week. It's been one of those 2 guys. And of course, Greg shows up as our special teams player of the game. Offensively, Stephen Houston and Nate Sudfeld were. And the guys behind the scenes that you don't see, we got Jake Reed, offensive line, playing center, Anthony Davis, those names keep popping up. They did a great job on our scout team again, as did Big Ralph Rainey. We're excited about him as a D tackle, and Derek Welch was a walk-on DB from Noblesville. So it was good. It was nice to win, a lot to work on, and we keep trying to talk to guys. If we're building our team, we're going to get better down the stretch. Every team does. That's good. It's nice to have a positive scoreboard, but there's a lot to improve on. There's a lot to build on, and now we can maybe be in a positive situation, but still trying to keep building because we got a long way to go. And we're going to keep pushing this week to have a better week, and we'll need one to have a chance as we play against Iowa this side. Questions?
With the win, is it a blessing that they maybe didn't play their best game? Because you've talked before about how guys will get a little bit maybe too excited when they have some success, and this is going to help you guys keep them grounded a little bit more.
Well, our comments to them, again, our common theme, pushing over a year now is constant daily improvement. And when we've had some shortcomings, we wanted to keep coming. Now we've had a positive, but let's don't look with rose-colored glasses. Let's look and see where get our timings off in the pass game. Our protection can be better. Perimeter blocking, backside reach blocking, missed tackles, getting off blocks. We created some plays, but we also missed some plays defensively. So as we, that's been our thing. And hopefully, again, I think we're getting some great leadership from Adam and Will Maddie and Larry Black and those senior guys. A couple of those other, Kofi Hughes or Stephen Houston, those guys, Mark Murphy, those guys, Greg Eben, they pick up some slack good too. But we need to keep building. And if our kids are truly embracing our values, we've had 2 really nice days of practice so far. We practice here Tuesday morning, and we're off to a good start. And that's, our theme of the year, keep getting better. I would expect us to get better this week, and we'll need to, because again, it's evident. You go 1 of 13, you're not going to perform well. You have 14 missed tackles. That's going to haunt you. They missed a couple of shots. They had the opportunity to make a play or two that they missed. So you don't want to rely sometimes on a team giving you a game. You need to keep pushing and working. So we'll see as we go forward. That's our challenge.
Kevin, what is it about Iowa in particular that your main concern?
Well, Coach Florence has had as much success. Coach Fry got that thing going. Coach Florence has kept it going. They've lost their last two, but they've lost two. They've lost to good teams. They lose to Iowa State. They're playing really good in the Big 12. Their rival game early. They kind of, like we did, they kind of blew one at the end against Central or Michigan, where they made a play or two. But they've lost two recent games to two good teams. It's a prideful team. They're tough. They're physical. They've had some injuries, but they're a program that overcomes that. Doesn't matter who the running back is, they're going to zone it up and get downhill. They always have a tremendous line. Defensively, same way. Their tape looks like it did when I was at Northwestern 10, 11 years ago, when they were building what became the 2002 championship team. So, they're just philosophically sound, structured. A lot of things they do, we're trying to emulate. We're not trying to make our program just like theirs. Coach Florence is one of the better coaches in our profession, one of the better guys in the profession. His kids will have a great week, and we need to learn to win at home, and we need to learn to keep getting better. And this will be a challenge because this is a winning football program that we're playing, and we're trying to become that. So for us to put together a good week and go out and compete and see what we stack up against these guys will be a big challenge, and we look forward to the challenge because again, I respect their program and what they do, and there's a lot of good ones in our league. But the program we're playing to one that I truly respect everything they do.
Does the fact that Nate came in early in Saturday's game signify anything different about where the competition stands, or is it pretty much exactly where it has been?
Well, that was our worst quarterback play of the year. As far as stats, yardage, numbers, conversions. So, and I would have said a long time ago, we need to play well quarterback to win, and we probably had our worst quarterback performance and still won a game. So I think it shows where we're gaining and kicking and getting better in some areas and playing smarter and playing more efficient football. But both those guys need to keep pressing and play better. Into the wind, it was a little tough to sled a little bit, and we just, we didn't block well. And those quarterbacks always look good when the surrounding parts play well. We didn't play quite as good offensively. A lot of that's a credit to Illinois, having some good defensive players, and attacking is pretty good. But we'll get a similar deal this week. We're going to play against another well-coached, sound, strong, stout, solid defensive team, and we got to play better. They're both kind of, if you watch it, you guys get a chance to see a little bit once in a while. They kind of split reps up and look pretty solid in practice, but we need to play a lot better than we played Saturday. So we'll see as the week goes. I would have said in the earlier games, Nate would have been up there earlier and won. I would have told you Saturday, Nate would have played better, or excuse me, Cam would have played better coming off the way we finished Navy, but we missed a couple shots. I just didn't like the one ball floated early in the game. I thought that's a poor decision, and I didn't want to go on the road and be careless, so we just gave Nate a chance. And we got the lead, got the momentum, and we just kind of rode with him. Same thing happened in the other games. I would have thought maybe Nate would have got in and played, but we were playing well, and Cam was doing well, and we're just kind of riding that one. So, they're both good competitors. They're both playing decently, but we need to play better. We are playing with the second and third team quarterback because the best one still isn't out there. And so that being said, both of those guys need to keep working to get better. So it's not a competition. There are two backups, and those two backups need to keep getting better. And it's nice they're giving us a chance, but they need to play better. We've won one football game since Trey got hurt, and the one game we won is the worst performance we've had at quarterback. So I just want both those guys to keep pushing, continue to be, and you guys visit with them. I think they're good, they're friends, they're competitors. I think it's a mutual respect, but those guys need to keep pushing because that position sets the tone. The offensive line, defensive front, and that position sets the tone for the team every week.
How early do you, or do you look at what the weather conditions are going to be like on Saturday? Because it seems like there might be a little bit of a wind still involved.
You look at it. Even though the weather gets, the rule of thumb is if a week out it says it's raining, it's going to be pretty. And if a week out it says it's going to be pretty, you expect it to be bad. Just because those nor'easters and my meteorological background and all that deal. But we like to look at it a little bit ago. you know, but it still doesn't matter. We practiced today. It was so windy. The defense actually went outside, but we put the offense inside just for timing. But like last week, we expected it to be about 12 to 14 miles an hour. It was actually that way on Tuesday and Wednesday. We actually spent the bulk of last week practicing into the wind because, you know, you don't want to make practice easy. The more difficult, the more, like we don't line up in practice and play against base defense. It's multiple blitzes and rotations and twists and movements, and you make practice as difficult as it can be, so the game can be that way. So tomorrow we will get back, I think as this wind subsides a little bit today, we'll get back outside and have a full go outside and take advantage of kicking and the whole thing. I thought our kickers handled the wind very well too. So you look at it, in this day and age, it's tough to give the ball up and say it's a possession win. But deciding which way to kick and do you want it first and second, third, and fourth quarters are critical decisions sometimes. Also, managing when to take a timeout at the end of the third quarter to punt with the win, or how to run the clock out at the end of the third quarter to get the win behind you that you can then punt with the win. There's all kinds of things like that we're talking about every game, and that's part of Big Ten football this last month. It's a big play.
Coach, talking with some of your guys this morning, you know, they talk about one game at a time, but how much do you touch on with them about the scenarios that could play out down the stretch here, the rest of the season?
Well, we've talked about that. It was pointed out today that we control our destiny, and I told our team, if you hadn't figured it out, you control it every day of your life. So we all control our destiny, and it's kind of nice that we can control making the day the best it can be and having a good week of practice. And we've won a Big Ten football game, and we need a better week, and we need to play better to beat Iowa. So we've got to use that as a little bit of a, you know, as we build our team, that's what we're trying to do. It's constantly consistent, getting better every day, and that's the mindset that we're trying to build with our guys on the field, off the field, and in fact, trying to change their outlook on life and how they look at the daily approach of being a college student, being a college athlete, and as they're developing in the young men. So the scenario to us is that we're a team that has not played very good. We're doing some things that you need to do to get better, and we're starting to do that more often on Saturdays. But if we've pointed out that all the really good teams get stronger and better down the stretch, and the really great competitors, the great individual players, and the great teams get stronger as you go. I do think I was worried weeks ago when we expelled a lot of energy and effort, and we were physical, we were enthusiastic, and we put a great forth of energy in some games. Could we repeat it? But I think the standard that we set in practice, our guys have shown, we will repeat that. Last week wasn't quite as good as I had seen, and we're challenging our guys to pick it up this week because we need to play better. So, you know, we keep it focused on 1 week, and we keep it focused really on 1 day. And our whole program goal the whole year, there was not one game red letter. It was, we're going to get better in every part of our program. Head coach, assistant coaches, video, training room, dietitian, players, scout teamers, kickoff, every guy getting better. It's been our motto, it's been our mojo, and that's what we're emphasizing, and we're slowly doing it.